Hi, and welcome to our video on Huntington disease, a rare but serious genetic disorder that affects the brain. We're going to walk you through what it is, how it works, who it affects, and what is being done to treat it. What is Huntington's? Huntington's disease, also known as Huntington's chorea, was first described by Dr. George Huntington in 1872. It's a genetic disorder that causes the progressive breakdown of nerve cells in the brain. It affects a person's movement, thinking, and emotional over time. Onset: most people start showing signs between the ages of 30 and 50. In rare cases, children can develop it. This is also called juvenile Huntington's disease, and it tends to progress much faster. Once symptoms appear, they continue to get worse over time.
This slide covers the gene and chromosome that is affected by Huntington's disease. Huntington's disease is passed on as an autosomal dominant trait and is located on the HTT gene, which is part of the fourth chromosome. All humans have the HTT gene, but it is only expressed when mutated. This happens when the CAG sequence of the gene repeats more than it normally does, which is 10 to 35 times. When the sequence begins to exceed 35 repeats, the chances of developing Huntington's disease increases. The image on the right shows the repeating codon that is responsible for the Huntington protein. In the image, you might notice that it's called the HD gene. This means the same thing and is interchangeable with HTT. When this mutation occurs, it can result in the death of neurons, issues with DNA reparation, and other symptoms that will be discussed later on. Because the base pair sequence in the HTT gene is affected by the disorder, so is the protein that it creates. The Huntington protein is not fully understood, but it is thought to maintain neuron health and restore DNA damage. The images show a side-by-side of what the protein should look like versus the mutated protein. The discovery of what is behind Huntington's disease is impressive because of the lack of knowledge about the human genome that was available at the time. In 1983, a group of scientists discovered that the HTT gene was on the fourth chromosome and identified what was the cause of the disorder in 1993.
Symptoms of Huntington's disease. Motor symptoms include chorea, also known as involuntary movement and poor coordination. Cognitive symptoms include memory loss and poor judgment. Psychiatric symptoms include depression and mood swings. All symptoms link to brain cell damage. Who is affected by Huntington's disease? Approximately 30,000 people in the U.S. have it. 200,000 are at risk, and 5 to 10 per every 100,000 people worldwide have it, and it's most common in people of European descent. Treatments for Huntington's disease. There is no cure yet. There are treatments for the chorea, which is tetrabenazine. Antidepressants and antipsychotics help, and there's physical, speech, and occupational therapies. The newer treatments are costly. Older ones are more accessible. The most significant costs are annual caregive costs, ranging from a minimum of $6,041 in early stages to $133,200 for later stages.
Life expectancy of people with Huntington's disease. Huntington's disease is a genetic neurodegenerative disorder that typically begins between ages 30 to 50. Once symptoms start, average life expectancy is 15 to 20 years. In rare juvenile cases, or the onset before age 20, the disease tends to progress more rapidly, with life expectancy often reduced to 10 to 15 years. Death usually results from complications such as pneumonia, heart failure, or infections, not the disease itself. There is currently no cure, but supportive care can improve quality of life. Research on Huntington's disease. There are completed areas of research and hopeful areas of research. As far as completed areas of research, there has been the identification of the HTT gene mutation responsible for Huntington's disease, development of genetic testing for at-risk individuals, understanding the role of mutant Huntington protein in brain degeneration, creation of animal models, mice, and primates to study the disease progression, systematic treatments to manage movement, psychiatric, and cognitive symptoms. In hopeful areas of research, there is gene splicing therapies, CRISPR and other gene editing technologies to correct or deactivate the HTT mutation, stem cell therapy to replace damaged neurons, neuroprotective drugs to slow or stop degeneration, biomarker development for earlier detection and tracking of disease progression.